Breaking news. College loses scholarship due to athlete accepting monetary gifts. This is something that you may hear often on ESPN, or you may read in your local newspaper in the sports section, or even hear about or talk about with your friends. You hear that a certain athlete has accepted something from a family friend or someone who they considered a friend, or someone they may just know. This in large part is against the rules of the NCAA. They have guidelines that strictly prohibit a player accepting any gifts or anything like that from anyone other than your immediate family. I feel as though this rule is a troublesome rule because not everyone in college that's an athlete has it made. I know there's a persona that college athletes have it made and that college athletes have the world in their hand, but from someone who has experienced it, not very long, but just experienced it, it's the complete opposite. So the point of my persuasive speech is that I believe that college athletes need to be paid. While on scholarship, college athletes do receive a small stipend. However, again, I feel this is minute compared to what schools and other universities are making. Hopefully by the end of my speech, you'll understand that the NCAA makes enough money, the things that an athlete is giving up, and the reason why an athlete may accept these gifts from that person. Starting out, the NCAA is a $1 billion corporation. This can be read in the Business Insider. It was said that in 2018, the NCAA made a little over $1 billion. And I believe that revenue grows more and more. Of course, this year it may be a down year due to the coronavirus, but at the same time, the NCAA is a very profitable corporation. What athletes bring to these schools and to the NCAA is funding. Obviously, with athletes playing, you get CBS, ABC, ESPN, and things of those and other channels. You get those contracts just by putting those sports or those schools on TV. So not only is the NCAA making some money, the school that the player is playing for is making money as well. In Indy Star this year, I read that a lot of schools that weren't going to be having their fall sports was going to lose half of their revenue that they used to fund the school. This is one of the main reasons why I believe athletes need to be paid, just because of the simple fact is they help keep a school afloat. They also help bring awareness to schools. They help bring other students who may not be interested in sports to schools. One of the main things that you may see if you go visit a campus like Alabama is they'll be big on their sports. So they're going to highlight their sports. They're going to highlight the college atmosphere, the student section, and things of that nature, just to be able to get you to go to that school. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the things that they're giving up. As a college athlete, you don't get the full college experience. The majority of your time is spent in film or watching other things that have to do with an upcoming game. You also don't get to experience that college life experience that everyone else who may not be in sports doing. So yes, some may be able to experience Greek life, but for that small period of time that they're experiencing Greek life, they're not actually a part of a sports organization. So while you're a part of a sports organization, it's kind of hard to stay ahead of your schoolwork or tests or things of that nature, because you may have to travel out of the state. If you have to travel out of the state, a lot of the times you either have to postpone a test or take it before you leave. This will cause you to have later nights than usual due to the fact the majority of your day is built in being part of your sports team or doing your schoolwork or studying or things of that nature. You are also giving up your body. Sports athletes, they go through a lot. You put your body through the ringer just to get ready and just to hopefully put yourself in position to have a pro career. A lot of football players, you see them go through concussion after concussion. There was a quarterback at West Virginia, I believe he had 5 concussions in his career before it finally actually took him out of the sport. So you're giving up your body for the entertainment of others. And I believe that a small stipend check of maybe $1,000 a month is not enough to compensate you for the long-term injuries or conditions your body will go through. This brings me to my last point when talking about that $1,000 stipend. A lot of college athletes do not come from a 2-parent household. So them being the man or the older, they are forced to be the man of the house. But when they're playing these sports, they're not only playing these sports for fun, they're also playing these sports to provide a better situation for their family. And a lot of times there are athletes that come from a 2-parent household, they're just less fortunate. This brings me to 3 people that struck me the most and why I believe athletes should be paid. Donald Delahaye. He is a kicker that was kicked off of the UCF football team due to the fact that he decided to do YouTube and make a little extra money for his family instead of just being strictly a football player. Reggie Bush, as many know, he was banned from USC for 10 years due to the fact of he accepted monetary gifts. And then the one that hit home the most was, I read this in an article in SB Nation, there was a football player for Baylor University. He was homeless. He accepted a place to stay on a friend's couch. He's just staying on a friend's couch, and the school deemed that it was, well, not even the school, the NCAA deemed that it was against the rules and he was accepting a gift from someone who was not his immediate family. So basically they were saying, well, you need to remain homeless in my eyes and play football and get through it. So hopefully you have a clear picture of why athletes should be paid. And even if you're a parent of an athlete, you see what your child may go through. And I'm not saying that they need to be paid the world prior to leaving college. No, at the same time, they are getting free education. They are getting dorms, and now they actually have passed a bill to give them an adequate food that they need. But however, it still is not enough. So hopefully you learned a lot from this. I hope I didn't bore you or anything like that, and I look forward to the next one.